are the salt of the earth. If the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of man. Yesterday we spoke to the covenant of salt and how God would use salt as a symbol of God's promise, use salt as a symbol of God's everlasting relationship to us. The purity that is invoked when salted. The long-lasting preservative aspect that preserves a thing, that gives it the ability to withstand time. Loyalty is what it speaks to. Uncorruptible loyalty. We live in a time now, y'all, where loyalty is rare. You got all types of loyalty out here. Loyalty is not like salt. It's not fixed in a pure nature. You see, salt is an essence that cannot be corrupted. It's fixed in its pure nature. It can't go to the left. It can't go to the right. You can have salt around filth. You can have salt around things that are not pure, and it will not taint the purity of the salt. The salt, no matter how small the grain, will lend its strength to whatever touches it. Even if it can't change the entire dynamic of whatever it is within, if it's only one grain of salt, that one grain of salt will, in its singular aspect, tiny singular aspect, change that immediate environment that touches it, no matter how much it is outnumbered by anything opposite of it. Loyalty is not like that. You could be loyal to unrighteousness. Loyalty is just a tether. It's a bind, a magnet. Yet salt, as the thing that the loyalty is magnetic to, the thing that loyalty is binded to, if it is bound to salt and then bound to another thing, then that salt aspect that is in between loyalty and that other thing will keep a righteous cohesiveness. And that is what God is speaking to. God says, I want to make a salt covenant with you, putting the salt between me and you, so that when I interact with you, I must interact with you in all righteousness. And that when you interact with me, you must interact with me in all righteousness, because the passing of the hand or the passing of the things between you and me are all must pass through the salt first. It all is purged through the righteous nature, the purity of the salt. Yeah, we live in a time, y'all. We live in a time, friend, where loyalty is heightened. But loyalty to what? We live in a time where families members mask themselves. They deja vu as what they see on the TV. From the outward appearance, they look as if they're the Huxtables. You got Claire, you got little Rudy over there, you got Malcolm, you got Cliff. And it looks like that. and all the extended family all look as if they are reflections to Claire, to Malcolm, to Cliff. They look like little Rudy or comparable. But when turbulence hits, when people feel like they can do things, you get to see what's what. And if your relationship is not centered in salt, if your relationship is not surrounding salt, if the exchange you have with Claire and Cliff and Rudy and the cousins and the aunts and the uncles doesn't have to pass through a salt, if they're not purified, if your interactions are not tempered through purification, through the pureness of heart, you're just wearing masks, observing one another for the right opportunity to show who you really are. Jesus speaks to this. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? Jesus is saying, when he says you are the salt, he's speaking to a multifaceted title. Salt is like an umbrella that covers a number of different things. To say you are the salt of the earth, it means that you preserve something. You preserve a philosophy. You are a preserved entity. You are an individual that speaks to legacy. Because that's what legacy is. It's the preserving of a thing. When Jesus speaks that ye are the salt of the earth, that means that you are the walking emanation of a monumental legacy. And you are to go out into the earth and be a representation of this legacy. You, friend, are to be a wise investment. Show yourself to be worthy of the investment that has been bestowed upon you by others. All of the sacrifices of those that have come before you must mean something in your life. You must be able to take the baton from them in their transitory states and stand in the truth of which they have invested in you as a pillar of strength, a reflection to something that they have invested in you. You must now be the investment that takes that and invests into someone else. The same legacy, preserving the knowledge, preserving all that they have invested in you so that you pay it forward. You keep the legacy alive. Anything outside of that is dishonorable and shameful. I can't be the only one that sees it. Many families break down because of this. How many of us have been in families where we had monumental pillars in the house? Not just the home you live in, but the family unit in general. The matriarchs and the patriarchs of our existence. The glue of the family. that invested so heavily into all of us, hammered it in love, the legacy, the things in which they built upon, the things in which those that came before them invested in them and they built upon, and then they passed it down to us. How many of us have allowed their investment to fall to the ground because we've done nothing with it? We argue and quarrel amongst one another over childhood traumas. Who got more attention when you were a kid? Who always got something from the ice cream truck? Who had to wear the hand-me-downs? Never for a moment putting on your crown and saying, I'm bigger than this. My life does not boil down to unhealed traumas about nothing, dust. My life is monumental because those that came before me put something in me that gave me an advantage. And regardless to how I wished it would have turned out, it turned out this way, and it's my job to build it up and make it better. So that when I pass it on, I don't break the chain of command. I don't break the movement of such knowledge. I'm not the one that breaks the family tree. I don't betray my vine. And I don't let someone else come in and do it either.